Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. Today we're doing a Delta Force Season 6 weapons tier list. This is something that's been highly requested on the channel. I haven't done a tier list in about 4 months. Since then, a lot of stuff has changed. So I want to go over kind of the new guns and how they fit into the meta, and then also how all the previous guns have been adjusted in the past 2 seasons. Also, we'll be doing an operator tier list soon. I know a lot of people have been asking about that. Kind of want to wait until maybe we see a Raptor nerf before I make that. Keep your eyes on the lookout for that. And also, I will still be uploading Iron Man episodes weekly, so keep subscribed and keep looking for those. Let's get into it. All right, here we go. Again, I want to preface this like I did in the last video as well on my previous tier list, that you can kind of build a lot of these guns in a lot of different ways. So some people may prefer them to others. The gun balance in general is really strong and like good in this game, so you can kind of play with whatever you want and make it your own and make it good. But there's obviously gonna be some that stand out as the meta and others that kind of falter, so I'll kind of be going over what I think are the meta guns and how I think they have stayed meta or why they are currently meta. Then also I'll definitely highlight if they're budget, because I know a lot of people want to know about budget. I have a builds website with all my builds and a lot of budget builds as well, so look in the description for that if you're just looking for builds in general. Yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so to start, AKM has been a really strong gun from the start of the game. I think we're probably seeing it at its weakest point right now, just because there's a lot of options out there that are extremely good, but I still think this is a very viable weapon. It's a bit more cheap than some of the meta guns, so it's nicer to run when you don't want to spend the bank on it. I'm gonna put this in A tier for now, but I think this will probably be at the either top of B tier or at the end of A tier. We'll kind of see once I kind of list them all, because I'm not even exactly sure how I'm gonna fill this all out yet. Straight into some bangers though. K416 is definitely S tier. Most of the game's life it's been here as well. We had, I think, season 2, season 3 got nerfed pretty bad, but for the past season or two, it's been really strong. This is kind of your perfect gun for that mid to short range option as an AR, and you can build this with the scope or red dot, and it's really, really good. And it's one of my favorite go-tos on assault characters where I'm trying to jump on people. K437, I'm gonna put it above AKM, but I'm gonna put this in A tier for now. This is something that may shock some people. Again, we'll kind of see where it shakes up, but the K437 feels amazing until you fight people in red armor. I recently learned the penetration on this gun is not that good, and when you fight people in red armor, you feel it. Compared to some of the other guns I'm going to list in the S tier, the K437 is basically S tier until you fight the end game gear, meaning the tier 6 and the red gear, and then it feels like it really struggles. So for that reason, I'm not going to put an S tier for now. I'm going to try to keep the S tier really small so I can really pinpoint and show you guys like the best guns in the game. There's a lot of guns that can be S tier in certain scenarios, but I'm not going to put those there. Okay, if it's really strong but it's not good all around, I'm still going to kind of put it where I think it belongs overall, not just for those niche scenarios, and I'll kind of go over those. Okay, straight to the D tier. Sorry, but this is a scav gun. It's a budget gun. There's not a lot you can do with this. The bullets aren't that great. The damage is not that good. There's not really strong builds you can do with this that are worth it, I guess, for the price. If you build out an AKS fully, it costs as much as some of these other meta guns, and it just is like half of the effect. So fortunately, that's a D tier weapon. Ash 12. Again, here's the scenario. I'm putting this into B tier. I love this gun. I think it's cool. It's been really good before, but it's just too inconsistent. This gun is S tier in very small range scenarios, a very niche scenario. Like if you get in this close medium range, it destroys. It feels great. But overall, it's just too inconsistent and loses to too many guns. Now, I will say this does have the option to be budget and pretty cool, where you can use the special purple rounds. I think the PD-12s, where it doesn't break armor. So a lot of people like running that because you can kill people pretty quickly and actually get good quality armor without breaking it. So that is one thing to note about this, but overall I'm going to put it in B tier. Val. This is an interesting one. I want to put this in S tier, especially because the price of it right now, it may change, but the price of this is at the lowest it's ever been. A full build Val is like 400 or 500k. Usually it's like 600-700k. I'm going to put this pretty much at the very top of A tier. I don't think this will move. I almost want to put this in S tier because the Val, I think, is probably the best close range weapon in the game because of its fire rate, because of the gold bullets, because of its penetration. It's super strong, will be almost anything close range. The only issue is, as an assault rifle, you would think it has a bit more range options, but it really doesn't. It feels like an SMG, and you're really limited to that. See, like the difference, K416 and AS Val, for example, are similar with red dot builds, but the K416 you can still build in a way with a scope to make it strong at longer ranges, but you can't do that with a Val. So like, again, I want to keep the S tier very, very small and really show the dominant weapons. But yeah, the Val is right there. Like you could put the Val in S tier. Some people would, but I'm going to keep it at the top of A for now. AUG. This is probably going to sit at the top of B tier for me. A lot of people want to put this in A or S tier even, but you have to think of it comparatively to the other weapons and what it does, against all armors. And I always say AUG is one of the best budget weapons in the game. AUG is one of the best, easiest guns to shoot in the game, but it really struggles for damage against the higher tier armors when it comes to tier 5 and tier 6. So that's why it's below here. Like pretty much all these guns above it will always beat it in a 1v1 if everybody's fully geared. I think the AUG does have the headshot multiplier advantage. If you are a laser beam and can hit the headshots, AUG can feel amazing. But again, overall and consistently, it's not going to beat out a lot of these guns above it. Scar H, oh my baby. I'm actually going to put this above the AUG at B tier. The Scar, yeah, this sucks having to put in a B tier. I think it could be A tier. We'll see. I might change it around later, but right now the Scar is just not in a great place. There's too many guns that beat it. And it's almost like it hasn't been nerfed that much, but all these other guns have gotten so much better that the Scar's kind of fallen behind. It's consistently really good and you can kind of build it all around in multiple different ways, but it just doesn't have the same effect as these other guns. And the fire rate kind of makes it struggle. And a lot of times it costs a lot to build these full Scars with the M62s. So I'm going to keep that at top of B tier for now. The CI-19 is our next S tier weapon. This is for sure going in S tier. This is a new S tier, I think, from the last list. This has been the past 2 seasons a staple. They've made the gun a lot better in general. At range, it hits a lot harder, and they've added a lot of attachments to it to make it feel better. I also would say this is S tier with just the rapid block. Don't use the stable block. What's really nice about this gun is that you can build it fully out, and it's only like 400 and 500k, and it's been like this for 2 seasons. So it's extremely strong at the price point. I don't think it's like the best gun in the game when it comes to like time to kill, but for the price, it might be the best gun in the game when it comes to how much you can get for, you know, a 400, 500k build. You only get beat by a couple guns in the game with the CI-19. So Car 15, we're going to put it above the AKS. We're going to put it at C tier. Car 15 is cool gun to kind of mess around with sometimes, but again, it's a budget gun. It's a scav gun. It's just kind of like a weaker version of like the M4 and the KM4. Not too much you can do with it, but it's a cool budget gun to mess around with sometimes. AK-12, honestly, I think this is D tier, man. I almost would rather use a car over the AK-12, mainly just because the AK-12 costs so much. It just costs so much for no reason. It's not that good, and it costs a fortune to run. I just don't see, like, I think for the price, you can make a better Car 15 and kill people faster with the car than an AK-12. You build out a full AK-12, it's like 600, 700, 800k, and it just doesn't even feel that good. So AK-12, I think, needs a big buff. It's really struggled. It's never really done much. The 5.45 caliber in general has just really struggled across the game. M16, it's also going to go D tier. It's a fun gun. Really cool to hit those one-shot headshot bursts, but that's all it's got going for it. If you don't hit that one-shot headshot burst with full gold bullets, it really does suck, and you can't do much with it. It's a cool gun. It's a fun gun. It's a nostalgic gun. It really just doesn't shape up versus these other guns, but it's a cool gun to run for like your fun runs and stuff like that. SG, I'm going to put in C tier. This gun is, I think, kind of underrated. It's a cool budget gun. It's pretty unique. It shoots extremely fast, and it feels like you're beaming people. Like, you can build this really well for a pretty good price, but the damage just isn't there. But it'll feel good, and especially for when you're first starting out and stuff, I suggest building SGs. I think it's a cool gun to run, and it feels fun, but it just doesn't have the damage as these other guns do. M7, pretty much been a staple throughout the entire game, but now in season 6 with the Mandelbrick skin coming out, it did get a buff last season. That may be a coincidence, may not. M7, I think, is hands down the best gun in the game right now. Previous seasons, it's been hard for me to say that, but M7 just feels like the consistent king. It just does what these other guns do, but just hits harder. It's just the hardest hitting rifle in the game right now. You can feel it. You just get double tapped. You just get one headshot, one body. Like, depends what you're wearing, but the M7 is great. The only drawback is it costs a fortune, but kind of makes sense if it's the best gun in the game. So you'll end up seeing a lot of people choosing to run these other guns in the S tier because they're a lot cheaper than the M7. But most of the time, if you are head to head versus an M7 and you have one of these other guns, at least the time to kill, you will lose. Season 1 to season 6, the M7's always been an S tier gun in my mind. This is the first season that really cements itself as the best gun and like at the top of the S tier. So that will not be moving. M7 is the best gun in the game right now. Interestingly, the M4A1, I'm going to put it S tier. This may shock a lot of people. The M4A1 has been buffed a lot this season, and I've been testing it the past couple days. Again, it's very similar compared to the CI-19 for me. You can build this gun fully out for like 400, 500k, and it's amazing. I'm still testing it, but like, this has been my favorite gun I think so far this season. You can build it really cheap because of you put the green stock on it with the cheek pad, and you get all these extra calibrations, and you can get a ton of accuracy and a ton of handling, and still it's a beam. Like, out of every S tier gun, I will say it's going to be the easiest gun to shoot full build. It's extremely easy to shoot. You just pull down a tad. It's just straight vertical recoil, but it just doesn't have the damage some of these guns have. And like, for example, like the M4A1 would lose to like the K4 close range, right? There's the trade-offs. M4A1 might beat a K4 at long range though. M4A1, M7. M4A1's easier to shoot than the M7, but if you're hitting your shots with the M7, it'll kill the M4. You know, you're gonna have those trade-offs. M4, I don't even know where I put it in the previous tier list and in my head in previous tier list, but it's always been like a B tier, C tier gun even to me. Like, I've never used it. M4 has always been kind of like a budget gun to get to the K4, and I'm really surprised they made this change. Fuck it, M4 sick. It's cool. It's fun. It's a little bit different than the K4, so I'll take it, but that is an S tier gun right now. now. DTR into the D tier. Some people like this budget and stuff like that. I just think there's a lot of better options. It's just not a very exciting gun. It doesn't do anything good or great other options in kind of its tier or the tier above it. So I've just never really liked it. And I think there's just much better options for the price point if you want to run a budget gun. QBZ, I'm going to put it C tier. This can maybe float into B tier as well. I haven't used it this season yet. I don't think it really got adjusted. It's consistently mid. That's kind of what I say about this gun. It can be fun to use budget, and it's a little bit different than other guns, and you have, I think, some unique attachments with it. It really doesn't do anything that shocks or can kill a lot of times guns above it. It's just kind of a mid-tier assault rifle, and it's good for people in the mid game and trying to progress and use something without breaking the bank. MP7 into the A tier. MP7 I think is probably the best SMG in the game right now. You have a lot of cool variations with attachments. It really doesn't lose too much point blank range. You have a lot of pressure with it. The fire rate's amazing. There's cool builds you can do with it. It's an all-around cool SMG. 99 accuracy builds are really fun with it as well, and just hip firing. You know, one of those guns that's just fun to always use on assaults. So it's up there. Just your consistent good SMG. Vector I'm gonna put in the bottom of B tier right now. Vector is everything what I said the MP7 is, except Vector cannot shoot gold bullets, so that's why it's below. I think if the Vector had the ability to shoot gold bullets, it would be the best SMG in the game. Vector is extremely fun, extremely good, very expensive. The Vector is definitely more expensive to run than the MP7, even though you can't even get gold bullets for the Vector. You can only shoot purple bullets. It can still shred. Vector's still fun, still great. It's just limited by bullets. SR3M is going A tier as well. It's similar in a way to the MP7, but I think it has a bit more range. It's classified as an SMG, but it says compact assault rifle, and that's kind of how it feels. Some people love this gun. I think it's okay. It feels like it wants to be an AR sometimes. It feels like it wants to be SMG sometimes, but it just doesn't like excel enough in both of those. It's a great all-arounder. I think that's why people like it. Kind of have these options at longer range, but you can still shred close range, but it loses to a lot of guns, you know, like it'll lose to a lot of ARs if you actually try to challenge at range, and it'll lose to MP7s point blank. So it's a weird one for me, but I think because it has those capabilities to do all these different things and it doesn't cost a fortune, there's really good budget options for the SR3M. I have a really good budget SR3M I like running. That's why I'll put it in A tier. Some people might say it's an S tier gun, but not for me in the current state. P90, I'm gonna put this at the top of B tier. I think this is really strong. It's very similar again to like an MP7. I just think it's a little worse than the MP7, and it costs a bit more to run most of the time. A lot of attachments for this and bullets have gone up over time. All around great SMG, really fun to run, cool budget. You'll destroy people. 50 round mag's really nice by default, but I just don't think it has the damage the MP7 does in the time to kill, I should say. I think the MP7 is a bit better pen, but I'm not for sure. P90, solid gun, really fun to use. Like SR3M and MP7 are better versions of the P90, I think, so that's why they're there. MP5, go bottom of C tier. Again, pretty much just a really mid gun. It's just kind of like a worse Vector. You can't get gold bullets for it, so you're capped at purple. It's fun to use. There's cool attachments for it and stuff, but you're very limited by the bullet type, though. It's just kind of like a mid SMG. QCQ, even worse somehow. I don't even know if you can get gold bullets with QCQ. I don't think you can. If you can, this gun just feels really awful to shoot, and it costs a fortune to make. So even if you can shoot gold bullets out of the QCQ, I still think the MP5 is better, because for the price and how easy it is to shoot the MP5, it's better than the QCQ. Like, QCQ is a nightmare. You have to pay 500, 600K to build it out, right? And it still doesn't even feel that good. I do not like that gun. SMG 45, I'm gonna put in C tier. It's kind of just a worse version of the SR3M. I'm gonna leave it in C tier. It's just odd. I think it's better for like warfare. I think a lot of people like it in warfare. It's fun to shoot, but it just has a slower fire rate, and it just doesn't have that great of damage. I just don't see why you use it over some of these other SMGs or the SR3M. Bison, D tier. Uzi, D tier. Sorry, they're fun, they're cool, but they're budget scav guns. Not a lot you can do with them. No gold bullets, not that strong. Vityaz, I think, is really trash compared to the other SMGs, although you can do some cool accuracy rip builds. So if you want to do budget to kill geared players and just shoot their limbs and stuff, the rip bullets, I think Vityaz is your gun. Other than that, it doesn't feel that good compared to a lot of these other SMGs. That's kind of the only use case I'd use for that. M250, this is an interesting one. So I'm gonna put M250 at the top of B tier right now. It's had an interesting lifespan. It used to be the best gun in the game, and then it slowly faltered, and it's been adjusted a bit. Actually, I'm gonna put it at the bottom of A tier. I can't do it that dirty. I gotta put it at the bottom of A tier. It's still really good. I think it's probably the second best LMG, which the PKM I'll be doing next, I think is the best LMG in the game right now. But for the price and the amount of bullets you have to have in it, you know, some of the nerfs it's had recently with its barrels and changes, I don't think it's that great. It feels good when you're posted on things after handling nerfs and stuff like that. It just doesn't feel as good when you are basically, if you're the second person to shoot, the other guy gets the first shot on you. A lot of times the M250 feels bad. It has trigger delay. It doesn't feel that great. It still hits like a truck. It still can be extremely strong. You still have the big mag to multi-kill, so I have to put it in A tier. It's still really good. It's just been nerfed a lot and stuff, and I just think there's a lot of better options to run than it now. It's not that all-in-one destroyer that it was, you know, in season 3 and season 4. PKM, I'm gonna put in kind of the mid-tier of A. I think that's the best LMG in the game right now. It's just really good for the price point. You don't have to pay a shitload to build it out completely. There's really good budget options for it, and it has a faster time to kill, I think, than the M250 right now, and or they're very similar, but it feels good. I was using it last night. It's fun with some of the new attachments in the game too, and the new scope. I was running with it. It's all around good gun. Again, you have a lot of options with it to build it more budget and to build it full build, and you can just destroy people once you're in the middle of that mag. UJB, a lot of people tend to like this as well. I think this is bottom of the B tier for me though. It has some weird builds you can do with it. It's kind of more of like a niche gun. I think it's like more of a preference if you like it, because you can be an absolute beam with this with certain attachments, but I just don't think it kills as fast as something like the PKM or M250. It just feels a bit more awkward to shoot, so you have to test that one on your own time. M249, I put at the top of C tier. Fun to use, but it's just not as good or as fast as the time to kill as some of these other guns, especially the other LMGs. This thing can be a beam, but you're shooting 5.56, and unfortunately, I'm going to put this below because you're shooting an M249, which you think should be a killer, but I think all the other 5.56 guns are legitimately better and a faster time to kill. So we're talking the K4, the M4. I think both of those guns literally kill faster than the M249, even if you have an M249 fully built. I think this gun probably deserves a bit of a buff. That's where it's at right now for me. All right, getting some of the Marksman Rifles. I think PSG is probably the weakest Marksman Rifle for me. It's just kind of like a mid-tier. They're in an odd state in the game right now. I think on certain maps I do a lot better, but I think like there's just better versions of this gun, as we'll get into. M14, I'm gonna put this at the top of A tier. This is an interesting one. Been nerfed so many times, but this gun is a destroyer in the close medium range with a red dot, and that's it. You can't use this anywhere else. It sucks. You can't build accuracy. You can't jump on people point blank. You can't shoot at range, but there's probably no better gun that beats this gun in full red versus full red when you're in that close medium, you know, like 15 to 20 meter range. This thing destroys. I want to put it in S tier, but like I said, I just can't because all around it's just pretty shit. It's just like, I like using it though for, you know, if I'm on Viren, I'm on prison, I'm dashing on people close range in cells, or if I'm an admin dashing on people or shooting people like across the bridge, you know, that type of, that's a little too long for it, but that type of range, like it can destroy, but you pretty much have to use a red dot for it, and you have to build all this stability and control because it's a complete nightmare to shoot. But when it hits, it hits. SR25, I'm gonna put in B tier. I think this is just a better version of the PSG. You have more options with it. It shoots faster. It feels cleaner. SR25 is probably my favorite marksman rifle in the game, and the true sense of a marksman rifle, because the M14 is kind of just an AR. It just shoots a bit different. That's where I'll put the SR25. This is like my baby on Lay Alley. I love that, running that shit with a thermal. Mini 14, B tier, scav gun, 5.56, loses to all the other 5.56. Not that great. SR9, probably the worst gun in the game. Never seen anyone get a kill with this. Trash. Nothing to say about that. SVD, I'm gonna put in B tier. It says it's a sniper rifle, but it's definitely a marksman rifle. Pretty unique gun. Honestly, you can one-shot headshot people that aren't in gold, so that's kind of fun to use sometimes and mix up. I still think it loses to a lot of snipers sometimes, so you get too comfortable with this. It's good. It's fun. It's different. You have some options with it. You don't have to break the bank for it, so give the SVD a try sometime. Underrated. BSS D tier. I don't even know what this gun is trying to be. It's just bad. Like, other marksman rifles are just better. If you go try to use it like a Val, the Val's just way better. Like, I just don't really understand like what the full auto is with this gun or what it's trying to be, but it's just really bad. Maybe it doesn't cost a lot though. SKS is somehow even worse. I don't know why some of these marksman rifles haven't been adjusted yet. Like, they're just unusable. SKS just feels terrible. It's like an SR9, just feels like it does no damage and you have to build a shitload for it. So this is a weird one. I don't want to give it S tier. I'll just give it A tier. Obviously, it's kind of like the power weapon in the game. It's an odd one. You can one-shot body shot anyone, no matter what they're wearing. Costs a fortune to run though, and red bullets you have to craft and can take some time to get, or you have to get through quests. I'm just gonna say it's A tier because you won't run into it a lot and you can't run it all the time, so you're kind of limited. Obviously, when you are able to use it and if you're hitting the shots, it's an S tier gun. It can one-shot. Also can be a little inconsistent. Like, you can't, if you hit a limb, it does nothing, right? So pretty much have to hit the chest or you have to hit the head. So that's kind of why I'm gonna put it in A tier, because you are a tad limited by it. It's extremely OP. I don't like it. I don't think it deserves an S tier compared to some of these other guns. M700, put in A tier. It's probably my favorite sniper in the game. I run this a lot. You can do some really creative builds with it, and it's extremely fun to use. It doesn't cost a shitload. Has the best muzzle velocity out of all the snipers as well, so it gets to the target the fastest. Actually, I don't know if that's the same, if that's the case with the but for the other snipers, but super fun. Just my favorite all-around sniper rifle. Just throw a scope on it too, you're fine. I think the R93 is the only sniper that's better budget. So if you want to run a budget sniper, I'd run R93 because it has a better base handling than the M700. M700 for me is my, like, I think the best sniper rifle, like other than the in the game. R93 is right there behind it, just really strong, best budget sniper in the game. Just throw a scope on this and you're chilling. SV98, I'm gonna put in B tier. It's exactly what the M700 R93 are. It just, I think it's a little worse, has worse base stats, and you have to use a caliber that's not as common. Because one thing that's nice about the M700 and R93 as well is that a lot of guns use the 7.6251 caliber, so you get those M62s a lot. And if you do, you'll just get extra bullets for your sniper. If you pick somebody else's sniper up, a lot of times you can end up using bullets from your SCAR, your M14, or your G3, whatever gun you're using, you can use them in the sniper. However, the SV98 caliber bullets, 7.645R, aren't as common, or 7.625R, because you don't find those as common. It's worse too. You won't be able to pick that up and use it as much. M10, I'm putting D tier. Honestly, I'm gonna speedrun this. I think the S12 shotgun, I'll put double barrel as well. But all the shotguns are pretty bad in the game. The S12K is probably the only one that can consistently kill multiple teams. Like if you had like multi-kill, because you can put a drum mag on it, you shoot the fire breath rounds. It can be fun, it can destroy, but also against gear teams, you're not gonna do that. Double barrel's kind of unique because you can kind of shoot them like slugs and have a bit more range with it. Again, you only have the 2 shots, you gotta make them count. But overall, they're just pretty weak in the game. M10 and M870, I just think worse versions of these S12 than double barrel. 9.3R, cool pistol, probably my favorite pistol shoot in the game. 3-round burst, purple bullets. You can destroy people if they're not giga geared, in gold or red. You can actually kind of 1 burst, 2 burst people, and it's really fun. Give the 9.3R a try sometime if you haven't, just even for some pistol runs. Deagle is disappointingly bad. Just add some gold bullets to it, man. Why isn't there gold bullets for the gun? It's super fun to 1-dig people and stuff, but you can't kill anything that's geared, so why even use it? G17's trash. G18's just full auto, better version of it. G18's probably the best pistol in the game, fastest fire in the game. You can just dump a mag at people's legs and just destroy them. Yeah, G18's really fun. Give that a go as well. M1911's trash. Gushi's trash. Revolver, I'm gonna put in B tier purely because you use it as weapon storage. If you guys haven't seen on my stream or a lot of other players, keep a revolver as your sidearm if you don't plan on bringing one, and just put a Zephyr barrel on it, and then you can stack like 8 attachments on it, so it's just extra inventory space. Air Forward's B tier. It's like a mini backpack. I love the revolver. I run it all the time. Never shoot it, but I use it for storage. It's cool. Bow, I'm gonna put it like C tier. It's very odd and it costs too much to run, man. It's fun, but it's silent, but it costs too much to run. Like if you want to run the full build bows, it's just a fortune. I don't know why. I think if they make this more budget, I'd put it higher, because it's fun to use and really good. You can hit those 1-shot headshots. It just costs way too much, and it's like, why wouldn't you use a sniper? Because you're limited by the range on the bow. It has to be pretty close to medium. You can't do it at super far range. And then we're getting some of the new guns. KC-17, I'm gonna put it at the top of B tier. I think it's actually pretty good and gets a bit of a bad rap. I do think though that it just costs a lot to run, and 5.4539 just kind of struggles to get in that caliber in general. The KC-17 basically feels kind of like this mid-tier gun, but it pretty much loses to all these guns above it, so that's where it's at. Marlin, I'm gonna put pretty high in A tier. From the little testing I've done with it so far, Marlin's sick because it's got dual purpose. One, you can do it as a substitute sniper. You can put a specific lever on it that gives you more damage, and you can actually 1-shot headshot 50 out of 50 gold helmets with a gold bullet. No other sniper can do that other than the The catch is it has to be below 30 meters, I believe. So you are limited by the range you can do it, but for a lot of those hallway fights on like Space City or like cell fights in prison or the admin hallway fights and stuff like that, Marlin can be sick, and I've actually got a couple headshots like that. It's really fun and it's cheap. So the Marlin, give it a shot. Try it with the sniper build. It's cool. On the flip side of the coin, you can do a fast repeater lever. You're able to kind of use it like a RIP budget gun, where you can have like 99 accuracy and you can be hip firing it and shooting at people's limbs and actually like 2-shot them. So I haven't given that a go yet, but I've seen gameplay of it. It's actually really good. That's more of like your kind of like budget goofy type of run. It'll be really strong doing that as well. But that's why it's an A tier, because it has those dual purposes that I think can be really strong, and it's cheap to run. And finally, we got the MK47. Current state of the game, I gotta put this in somewhere in the like middle of B tier. It's getting a bad rap, unfortunately, because it was insanely strong in the test server and then got nerfed into the ground before release. My main issue with it right now is you can't build a version of it that doesn't cost a fortune. Like, it doesn't even make sense. Like yesterday, the barrel was 400k. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Maybe when the prices level out, it can be better, but it's just odd because it just feels really weird to shoot. It might be kind of a niche gun. I know some people have been running like 99 accuracy builds. I know some people have been running some other just like full builds and stuff, but it just feels weird to shoot. I think it's kind of going to be a preference thing. It just felt like an AKM, but it felt really slow and harder to control than an AKM. But it hits really hard. So I don't know. For me, it still loses to most of these guns above it. I think there's scenarios where it can beat them, but again, like for full build MK47, you're paying like $1 million right now. Yeah, that's just not worth it compared to a lot of these other guns. So we'll see how it changes. The MK is probably probably the one gun in this list I would have a star next to. This could maybe be an S tier next week by the time this video's out. If it gets adjusted, if the prices change a bit, they could buff it again to be really strong because it was before. It's just kind of in a weird spot right now with the price and just how it shoots. It doesn't feel that good. I expect this gun to be changed a bit. But other than that, I feel pretty happy with my list, and I'm actually surprised that I kept the S tier as small as I did. But I really wanted to showcase what I think are like just the, I didn't even get 5 guns up there. Again, like you can put a Val, M14, K437, even the snipers, you can put up there an S tier. In terms of like the best guns in the game, all around at all times, I think those are the 4. Because pretty much all 4 of those guns you can currently use at any range and be really strong with. I cannot say that for all these other guns. All these other guns have negatives, but these 4 guns really destroy right now. And that's why I think those are the S tier guns. But I'll just do a quick scroll through here. Let me know what you guys thought of my list. If you agree or disagree, I'm open to having a little discussion in the comments. These are just my takes. And again, I'm not right. This is all a preference thing. But as somebody who plays the game every day and who's tried all these guns and who runs into all these guns and plays all the maps and plays it all in full gear, this is what it feels like to me. And again, I gave a lot of explanations for some of these guns. Some of these guns can be S tier. Some of the guns in A and B tier can be S tier in specific scenarios. But again, I'm talking overall. Just remember that. Let me know what you guys thought. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Like I said, a new tier list coming out soon for operators as well. Please suggest in the comments below what other videos you want other than Iron Man. I know you guys are liking the Iron Man series, but I want to make more content as well. So please leave suggestions for that. Yeah, thank you. I'll see you guys in the next one.